Okay. Time is now 6:35. Notice is hereby given that this is a regular meeting and public hearing of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, being held today, Thursday, September 28, 2023, at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall, 22870 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas, where a quorum of the city council will be present. All agenda items are subject to action. The public will be permitted to offer public comments as provided by the agenda and is permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting by signing up within the city with the city secretary in person at least 15 minutes in advance of the meeting, or by emailing or calling the city secretary. Any written comments received at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting have been provided to city council for consideration. A recording of the telephonic meeting will be made and will be available to the public in accordance with the Texas Public Information Act upon request. Madam Secretary, may I have a call to order?
Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado. Here. Alderwoman Martinez.
Here.
Sorry, my pencil broke. Alderman Rapino.
Here.
Alderman Fillinger.
Here.
Alderman Coffin-Daffer is absent. We have the city secretary and the city attorney. We do have a forum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I said it's 6:35. Yes. Okay, citizens to be heard. This time is provided for citizens to address the city council on issues and concerns related to the city of Sandy Oaks. Please note that the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the city council from responding, commenting, or discussing items or topics during the portion of the meeting that are not included on the agenda. We did have one person that signed up to speak regarding agenda item 8A, so we can pull that to the front. Is that right?
You can do it now or wait until you get to after you talk. It's up to you.
Let's pull it to the front. Mr. Tremblay, if you'd like to go ahead and
I just have some concern about the design, how it's going to be done, whether how they're addressing drainage. As it is now, I do get runoff into my yard from the Priest Road entrance. I get some runoff in the back of my property. So once the parking lot is done,
yeah.
Where's all that water gonna go? It's gonna hit a hard surface, it's gonna run off, it's gonna go somewhere. So my concern is just where the water's going is a driveway parking lots, are they gonna be curved? Is drainage gonna be addressed? Some type of drains gonna be installed, water gonna be diverted somewhere other than just
your yard.
over to my yard, my daughter's yard. So that's my main concern. It's the design. I haven't seen a drawing or anything. I haven't seen any plan. I don't know if you're gonna have anything shown today, but that's before you approve the plan. I would hope that is being incorporated into the final plan, drainage and where it's going, water diversion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. All right. All right, so let's kind of jump back to item 4. See?
Yeah, we usually talk about that.
Oh, do you want to?
Before the items, you might as well just.
Okay, so we'll keep it up. All right, so discuss under possible action on the award of the construction contract for the City Hall parking lot project and related matters. So yes, as we've discussed, we have our city engineer, Mr. Swaim here, that can kind of address some of the concerns of our citizens, as well as present to us the plans and his preferred bid.
Okay.
Mr. Swaim, you have the.
Well, good
you have the floor.
evening, Jeff Swaim, Success Engineering, Mayor, Council, citizens. Thanks for having me here this evening. Just for full detail where we are, these plans and everything were already approved. We are actually in the bid process, which is actually concluded. I'm here today to make a recommendation and discuss with y'all as far as the selected contractor for the work, to answer the gentleman's question. I don't know, we did have a set of plans here at the city. You're welcome to look at those. If they're not here, I can get you a set, but let me go into drainage a little bit and talk about that since it was raised up. As this gentleman noted, the water naturally has been draining right to a point, probably on the other side of this tree right over there. It comes back around this way. We did not change the flow paths because there's nowhere for the water to go. But what we did do is we have installed, or the contractor will be installing a rock filter dam. We do not believe this to increase the surface flow of water to the site, but with asphalt, concrete, whatever parking surface would increase the velocity. So that's why we installed the rock filter dams, or we'd be installing the rock filter dams. And this is something, it's bull rock with net wiring and such that it stands about, I can't remember from the plans exactly, but 15 feet or so, where the water is directed to that first, slow it down before it goes to your site. But other than that, you're in the low point of this lot where the water it's draining to there now. We did not change the flow direction. We just want to slow it down, as you noted, because it would speed up coming across there.
So what impact will that have for his problem? Slowing it
I
down?
didn't evaluate his property. I only evaluated what it is for this site. But we put the rock filter dam because we knew that when you have a asphalt or a solid surface, it runs faster. So what we did is we slowed that down before it goes onto his site.
So that would maybe increase the evaporation effect and.
No, sir, evaporation really doesn't play a part in this. It would be where he was talking about was when you start getting a significant rainfall event. One thing that does help a little bit here that is a difference is you have sandy soils here on the surface, so you get more infiltration. When you put the asphalt to the concrete, it obviously doesn't infiltrate. So there's some of the water that runs back around this way. Back around here, and it'll continue to do that off the edge. But the water that falls directly onto the asphalt goes towards him. Other than detention, which you don't have the budget for to do your parking lots and stuff, if you start doing other things. But we did in our design take that into account. We would have been short-sighted not to.
So what I want to ask is, will this increase the problem for his area, or will it not change? Or you don't know?
Well, I'm not gonna say it's gonna make it worse. Like I said, we got it back to the original velocities. The water that's going there is already going there. He's in the low point. That's where it ties in. But that's why we knew if we did nothing, then yes, it would have a negative impact.
Yeah. We can show you the plans afterwards. Okay.
So, I mean, are there any other questions? Is that okay?
No, we can move on with your recommendation.
Okay, now, I just sent the information, well, I talked to the mayor the other day after the bids were open, but I sent the formal documentation today, so you can all take a look at it. This, in the world of construction, this is a small project. For us, it's a big project here. I mean, anytime you're dealing with citizens' money. But the reason I state that is because we gave them, we put this out on what we call CivCast, where we cast a big net to try to get different contractors in and get better prices. In this case, for this project, we had 10 bidders, which is pretty amazing. I know at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know 6 of the 10 personally. Some of them I was surprised bid the project. Hayden Paving, which was the third from the lowest. They're out of Kirby. Jordan San Antonio Dirt Boys. They do a lot of work north side. They've done some work for me in Kennedy. Yantis is a big firm. Westar is out of Austin. They were the second low bidder. As you tell, I wrote my recommendation letter. First, my opinion of construction costs. This project is set up with a base bid. The base bid is the majority of the parking lot, and we did an alternate, which is a small area of concrete over here. So like for police vehicles and stuff, as they pull in to get out, it adds concrete. So you can, if they arrested somebody, it gives them a good walking surface so they're not in mud or debris or whatever is over there, tree limbs. It's just a solid surface.
Yeah.
So we set that up as an alternate. So if you look at the engineer's estimate, we were at 140,000 for the base with a with a total of 148,000 was our estimate overall. Division 9 Inc. came in at 147,506, so they were a little bit less than us overall. The problem with 9 Division Inc. is they did not submit the addendum and the financial statement, which are two things, because we don't just look at the low bidder, we evaluate qualifications. And I make phone calls, to see who's been doing what work and if anybody's had any problems, because I do work for a lot of different cities. And so I know a lot of these contractors, and when I get somebody like this, 9 Division Inc. is out of Katy, Texas.
Well,
This-
if they didn't send the responsive documents. then
They would not be
they're
considered
not
responsible.
responsible, So
Yes, sir.
we
So-
go right by it.
Yes, sir. But it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm just clear on that, so everybody understands. Westar Construction was the next low bidder. They came in with a grand total of $165,895. They are over our opinion of cost, but all the others, the other 8 were higher as well. So for this project, I mean, it's really up to y'all whether you only do the base or you add in the alternate. But my recommendation was for Westar Construction. Westar Construction, we do know them. I know that they're bidding on some work for us in St. Hedwig. And they've done about $6 million worth of roads for McMullen County. And they've done a lot of water and sewer. That's not really needed for us at this time. But they use companies like Lone Star Paving for their paving and Texas Materials. Texas Materials did our road over here.
We got this.
And so I believe they will do quality work. My team is already under contract for construction administration. So whatever you decide here tonight, we will carry this forward, get the contracts together and meet with the contractor. And then my inspector and myself will be checking on this project throughout, checking on the quality of materials and placement, those sort of things. So our recommendation is for Westar Construction in the amount of $165,895. That included the bid alternate.
The only concern that I would say is that it is over the budget that the NTE that we approved.
So we did do that by ordinance, Mayor, so we can
Judge,
discuss that and approve a higher number
Or not.
or not.
Or not?
So
The difference is, because I did the
About
calculation,
10 grand.
17,780.
What do we? What did we do in 155?
Yeah.
And they're at 165?
Oh. Is he, well, as he was saying, the grand, it's 148, so I guess.
Oh, yeah, plus the 7,000. So that way we can get by the walkway for the police.
Mhm.
So. Well, for discussion, guys. We would need a motion to accept the recommendation. We would also need a motion to increase the NTE amount as it is over what our expected budget was.
Mhm.
Having several estimates and these being the lowest, I think that we should go ahead only because we don't have anything else to deal with. You know, other than what he submitted and he's recommending them, so. And he'll work closely with them, so I don't see, opposition for that.
is that a motion?
Okay.
Oh, if there's no further discussion, I move that we approve the contract with Westar Construction Incorporated not to exceed $166,000, and that funding will be from the ARPA fund.
I'll second.
All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Patino to approve the construction contract with West Star with an NTE of $166,000. Is that correct? Up there?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Jess. We'll be in contact if you want to bail at this time.
It's up to you.
Surely is your choice.
Pleasure to see you, sir.
Okay, jumping back now to item 4. Mayor and Administrator announcements. One of the announcements that I have is we do have National Night Out coming up pretty quickly next week. Tuesday, December 3rd at the Shops at Sandy Oaks. October 3rd. October 3rd, sorry. Yeah,
You just want to end the year already.
I just, I'm just trying to get past the dunk booth, right? So
Oh, yeah.
October 3rd, from 6 to 9 at the Shops at Sandy Oaks. We look forward to seeing everybody there. $5 donation if you think you have a good pitch and you can dunk me.
I've been practicing.
All right, we got at least $5 and that's going to the community center.
I have a question, sir.
There will be other options. Yes, sir.
Is your son a good pitcher?
He is.
I
Line him up.
I may just line him up.
He's been practicing, so. All right, so that's one of the announcements. The next announcement that I have is for the proclamation of the mayor recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month in the city. That is. Where did it go?
4A.
Yeah, I just unorganized
Lost it.
myself, yeah. That is, okay. All right, a proclamation, the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, Office of the Mayor, whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month, known as Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana, is celebrated nationwide from September 15th through October 15th each year. The observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover the month at which it is celebrated today, understanding that September 15th is significant because it is the anniversary of independence for Latin America, countries such as Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. In addition, Mexico and Chile celebrate their independence days on September 16th and 18th, respectively. And whereas the city council, staff, employees, and the mayor of the city of Sandy Oaks look forward to celebrating Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana with the greater community to highlight the rich heritage, arts, histories, food, music, and traditions of all 26 plus Latin American nations, while recognizing that these nations are not monogamous, and this month celebrates, honors, and pays tribute to all for their contributions to our city and our society. Now, therefore, I'm Michael Martinez Jr., Mayor of the City of Sandy Oaks, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15, 2023, National Hispanic Heritage Month, and ask our citizens to recognize and celebrate the contributions of Hispanic and Latino citizens to our city, state, and country. Grace, can you read the other side for me?
Sure. Go ahead. Okay. Ciudad de Sandy Oaks, Texas, Oficina del Alcalde. Por cuanto el Mes Nacional de Herencia Hispana se celebra en todo el país del 15 de septiembre a 15 de octubre de cada año. La celebración comienza en 1968 como la Semana de Herencia Hispana y fue ampliada por el presidente Ronald Reagan en 1988 para cubrir el mes en que se celebra hoy. Entendido que el 15 de septiembre es significativo por el aniversario de la independencia de los países latinoamericanos, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras y Nicaragua. Además, México y Chile celebran sus días de independencia el 16 y 18 de septiembre, respectivamente, y por cuanto el Consejo Municipal, el personal, los empleados y el alcalde de la ciudad de Sandy Oaks esperan celebrar el mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana con la comunidad en general para resaltar la rica herencia, las artes, las historias, la comida, la música y las tradiciones de las más de 26 naciones latinoamericanas, aunque reconoce que estas naciones no son monógamas y este mes se celebra, honra y rinde tributo a todos por sus aportes a nuestra ciudad y nuestra sociedad. Ahora, por lo tanto, Michael Martínez Jr., alcalde de la ciudad de San Diego, en nombre de todo el concejal municipal, por la presente proclamó del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre de 2023, Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana, y pedir a nuestros ciudadanos que reconozcan y celebren las contribuciones de los ciudadanos hispanos y latinos a nuestra ciudad, estado y país.
Thank you.
Like,
All right, next item will be 4B, proclamation of the mayor recognizing World Teachers Day in the city of Sandy Oaks. Proclamation by the mayor and the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas. Whereas the city of Sandy Oaks' future strength depends on supporting a high-quality education to all students. And whereas teacher quality matters to student achievement than any other school-related factor. And whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lesson plans and supporting students. And whereas our district teachers have demonstrated great resilience, adaptability, and creativity during the COVID-19 crisis. And whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community. And whereas the Teachers Can is a statewide movement supported by more than 115 partnering businesses and organizations committed to elevating the teaching profession and honoring the critical role teachers play in the success of Texas. Now therefore be it known that I, Michael Martinez Jr., by the power vested in me as the mayor of the city of Sandy Oaks, so hereby proclaim October 5th, 2023 as World Teachers Day in the city of Sandy Oaks and encourage all city residents to personally express appreciation to our teachers and display a light blue ribbon outside your homes or business the week of October 5th as a symbol of support for our educators. Proclaim this 28th day of September 2023. Okay. Last one, proclamation of the mayor recognizing National Night Out 2023 in the city. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch, NATW, is sponsoring a unique nationwide crime, drug, and violence prevention program on October 3rd, 2023, entitled National Night Out. And whereas the 40th annual National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for Sandy Oaks, Texas, to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts. And whereas it is essential that all citizens of Sandy Oaks be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and the impact that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in the city. And whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. And whereas the celebration is planned for the citizens in the city of Sandy Oaks from 6 to 9 p.m. on October 3rd, 2023. Now, therefore, be it known that I, Michael Martinez Jr., mayor of the city of Sandy Oaks, and on behalf of the entire city council, do hereby proclaim October 3rd, 2023 as National Night Out and encourage all citizens to join the Sandy Oaks Police Department and the National Association of Town Watch in supporting the 40th annual National Night Out on October 3rd, 2023. Proclaim this 28th day of September, 2023. Okay, no other proclamations. Item 5A will pull as we're still working with our city engineer to finalize that. So discuss under possible action by record vote on ordinance number 2023-244 adopting the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget for the city of Sandy Oaks. All right, so you should have a budget in front of you. Got it. All right, so as we look at that, couple of items, as I was working through it today that I believe would benefit the overall budget.
Yeah,
Yes.
I accidentally put exhibit A behind.
The 6A.
6A, I accidentally put it behind 6A. instead of
Okay.
this one.
Okay. So they're looking at exhibit A, or they're looking at,
If you want to address some of your,
okay, okay, good, I got you. All right, so some of the proposed changes, so the changes that we had last month or last 2 weeks ago were included in here. We've already made those changes. Working with our city secretary, I did make adjustments based off of actuals that are reported in the current budget. First one is to reduce the carryover funds from prior year from 130,000 to 75,000. If we then jump down to about 3/4 away of the page.
you want to address these have to be
No.
mentioned individually.
Right. I don't know, do y'all want me to explain why we made certain decisions? Or do we want to go through one? I'll explain why we did it and then make a motion. Or do we want me to explain them all at one time? And then we can go back and make motions.
Do they have to be a motion for each one?
They would, right?
But.
Yeah.
But
I think
looking at the
individual.
number, I suggest we one at a time.
Individual.
Okay.
One at a time.
Fair enough. All right, so the first one again, as I mentioned, the actuals have come in, we've spent some money. And so my suggestion is to reduce the carryover funds from 130 to 75,000 based off of what is currently sitting in the bank account.
Okay. And do the rest of the numbers reflect that here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So they would reflect an exhibit A. Right? All the motions,
If everything were.
everything passes as it,
Look like this.
right, it will look like exhibit A,
Okay. A draft for the draft.
correct.
Okay. I move to reduce the carryover funds from prior year to $75,000.
I'll second.
Now, do I need to take an individual?
Not a record vote, just
Okay.
a PM.
All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to reduce carryover funds from $130,000 to 75,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, that passes. Okay, moving down, further down the line. Based off of current expenditures and what are actuals, I recommend that we reduce community programs by $1,000. Essentially moving that to $3,000. Again, this is based off of actuals, what is reported in the current fiscal year budget.
I move that we reduce community programs to $1,000.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to reduce community programs to $1,000 to reduce it from $4,000 to $1,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Okay, the next item is for conference, conventions, and meetings. There's not a lot of things that these are specifically for the mayor. There's not a lot of things I'm planning on attending. And so I would like to reduce the overall spend from $1,000 to $500.
Okay, I move that we reduce conference convention.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Sure.
Will the $500 cover I know our financial officer have to go to training every year. So
I believe this one is just
That's for
specifically
mayor.
for me.
It could be
It
for
says city
everyone.
council
Oh, yeah,
and mayor.
Ah, you're right.
expenses.
You're right, you're right.
I think he just recently, Mr. Rapido, when is your next time to go to investment training?
2 years.
2
I,
years.
I just went a year, last December, so
Mhm.
it's two,
Okay.
another, yeah.
But I don't have any other questions, and if
Okay.
you exceed the 500, you got a big pocket.
I don't go.
Yeah, or go.
Okay, so my motion is to reduce the conference convention meeting expense from 1,000 to 500.
Oh, and you're on exhibit A.
Yeah,
So it's on this one.
okay,
All right.
okay, I see,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion from Alderwoman Alvarado and Alderwoman Martinez to reduce the conference, convention and meeting budget from 1,000 to $500. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, the next item that I looked at was travel. Again, my recommendation is that we bring it down based off of actuals, to reduce it down to $500. Again, the thought process is not doing much traveling.
Again, I move that we reduce the travel expenses from 1,000 to 500.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderwoman Alvarado and a second from Alderman Rapino to reduce the travel budget from 1,000 to $500. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, moving down, the city secretary salary based off of actuals, based off of budget increases, or rather, based off of potential salary increases. I would make a recommendation to increase this by $2,000, just to allow us a little bit more wiggle room.
Did you also calculate the increase in TMRS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll make a motion to increase, city clerk salary to $52,000.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to increase the city clerk salary from 50,000 to 52,000. All of those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. Moving down, did you have a question?
No.
Okay.
I was reading that one.
Okay. If you have a question on any of the lines, feel free to stop.
Mhm.
All right, legal fees. My recommendation based off of actuals is that we reduce this to $45,000 based off of what we've seen thus far.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we reduce legal fees to 45,000.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to reduce the legal fees from 50,000 to 45,000. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? This is an odd item that I couldn't find any records on how we used it, and it seemed pretty consistent that we were not using this line. This is the outside contract services. I would recommend that we reduce this to save us $2,000 in our budget.
Okay, I'll
Well, if
move,
we- Excuse me.
go ahead,
If-
go ahead.
If we've never used it, well, why don't we just strike the line and reduce it?
You can do that.
Okay, then I'll move to strike outside contract services from the budget. And reduce it, well, we don't have to reduce it if we strike it.
Strike.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my motion is to strike outside contract services from the budget.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, so I got a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Lupino to strike the line outside contract services, thus eliminating the $2,000 budget. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Thank you. All right, turning the page. OCA fees, this is really shooting darts in the dark. OCA fees is based off of what we're able to collect from our court fees and fines. And so it's all over the place. However, this $75,000 that I recommend is still within our budget in a sense of what we've done in previous times. So rather than overextend it, I think 75 puts it more in line with what our actuals would be. But that's just my recommendation.
Okay, so I'm going to reduce the OCA fees to 75,000.
Second.
Go ahead.
I have a motion from Alderwoman Alvarado and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to reduce OCA fees from 82,000 to 75,000. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, so how should I go about this one? So we really want to do two things, right? We want to combine this to fuel and maintenance and then reduce their budgets, reduce and increase, so.
You can do this as a motion, you can combine it, do this as a motion and fix whatever budget that would be.
Okay. All right, so my opinion is that we have two lines here separating G&A vehicle fuel and G&A vehicle maintenance. I'd like to make a motion to, not a motion, I'd like to recommend that we combine the two, fuel and maintenance, as one line item. In doing so, I would want to reduce the fuel for the G&A vehicle, which is the Taurus, as that vehicle mostly sits, unless we have to run errands into town, which it shouldn't be too often, maybe weekly. When it is used by other departments, that other department is responsible for fueling it. So which is why we decided it might be a good idea just to reduce fuel.
Okay. So the total that you want to allocate to the G&A vehicle is 2,500, is that correct?
We're reducing and increasing.
Well, we.
For a total of 20.
Yeah, so it'd be a total of it'd be a total of 3,000 between the two, at the one line, yes, because we reduced 500, so that makes it 1,000.
They reduced to 500.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it'd be 2,500.
You're right, 2,500.
Okay, then,
You're right.
then I move to strike G&A vehicle fuel and G&A vehicle maintenance. And utilize G&A vehicle expenses as a line item of $2,500.
I'll second.
Okay, so I had a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second for Alderman Rapino to strike G&A vehicle fuel and G&A vehicle maintenance and combine them to fuel and maintenance as one line item with a budget of $2,500. That sound correct? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, so this is the one where we talked about, right? So we want to increase it to, or I think we should increase it to 1,500, but there's another line item at the end of the budget where it should probably sit instead. So I think we could strike newspaper.
Where is it? Oh.
Well, so it's the newspaper, right?
You can include that line item.
Oh, you know what?
Here
No,
too.
I know what I was gonna do. So my recommendation for the newspaper is to actually rename it to statutorily required public notice, required posting. Because there's a line at the bottom that Cassandra, that we have to, for required postings,
So all publishing can come out of that.
Right.
line item.
required postings.
Because y'all don't publish anything that's not.
Not required.
Everything
Unless
is-
it's a job or something.
but that's not required, so it wouldn't have to hit that budget. And
But
we're not doing it in the newspaper anyways.
What about when we print business cards? Well, that's.
No, this is
that's
newspaper.
Yeah.
operating
Yeah.
supplies. Yeah, that's just, okay.
Okay, we're,
So on the very last page of the budget, there's a line that has to be added, right?
Statutory.
Statutorily required in public notice, required postings. So rather than add it there, at the very bottom, what we can do is rename the newspaper and to statutorily required public notice, required
so
posting.
we're gonna strike it at the end and
Right.
move it,
Rename.
And change the name on
re-
top.
rename it.
Well, the newspapers actually, this would be public notices like the tax notice, the budget notice. Newspaper publishing would be possibly like ordinances that need to be published.
But those are required too, but it's
But
not
this is-
statutorily. Okay.
This is.
So you're
public
still
notice.
gonna have 3 lines, but the newspaper is being renamed.
I was trying to not have 3 lines. I was thinking the newspaper would be the 1 line.
Mm.
Or we can increase newspaper publishing, right, like I've recommended here. And then we'll have to go back and we'll have to make a motion to add these 2 lines, and then we'll have to add a budget for the required posting,
Mhm.
right? I mean, that would resolve it. Okay, so then let's go back to the newspaper.
Mhm.
The original idea is to increase the budget to $1,500
Okay.
based off of what we've spent so far.
Okay, so I move that we increase the newspaper publishing expense from 1,000 to 1,500.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to increase the newspaper publishing budget to $1,500. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
All those opposed. Thank you. All right, if we scroll on down, employer match TMRS, $20,000. My recommendation based on actuals is to reduce it to $15,000.
okay, I move to reduce EMRS to $15,000.
I'll second.
Mayor Pro Tem, you had a question?
No, I found it.
You found it, okay.
Thank you.
All right, so the motion is brought by Alderman Fillinger and a seconded by Alderman Rapino to reduce TMRS to $15,000. All those in favor say aye.
Right,
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, moving just 1 click down, veterinarian services. We now have an animal control officer who hopefully will be picking up more animals. This also then means an increase in veterinarian expense. So using actuals to determine that number probably wouldn't be the best idea because we were missing one for a while. So my recommendation is to increase that to $7,000.
I move that we increase veterinarian services from $4,000 to $7,000.
can we discuss that before we,
Sure.
Sure.
what veterinary services are we utilizing?
Uh,
You mean which veterinarian?
That's what it says.
Sometimes
veterinary.
it's between Oak Hills and Animal Crossing right now,
Okay,
depending on.
what
who's got
do we take animals in for?
We took one in today, got hit by a car for euthanasia. We take puppies in for parvo testing. If we do send them out for rescue, they have to have their rabies shots. Sometimes they need meds, if we're holding them and they've got worms.
Okay,
I don't see it on.
Depends on how many we pick up.
Exhibiting.
you don't see what I'm saying?
Exhibiting.
we're
We went from here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do these backsided. on
It's right here,
the-
veterinarian services.
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
It's under, where it says up top.
Is there 3 pages? I only got two.
Yes.
Oh, I got
Or
two.
it's 2 pages, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You should have it.
Okay, I have a 15 here.
Look on that last page.
No, I
Where
think,
at top it says utilities.
yeah, I think hers is formatted differently.
Utilities and water, see?
Oh, up here.
Okay, go down a little bit more.
Here's
No,
the
keep going.
15,000.
No, no,
No, that's
that.
equipment, okay.
Keep going up, right, up, right there, 7,000.
Okay.
That other one you need to mark.
So
up
this
on.
Yeah.
is, so this is essentially the
Yeah, up
budget
here.
if we
Okay.
fixed it, right? If all these motions passed.
Okay.
But I have no more questions.
Nice.
Okay, so I move that we increase the veterinarian services from $4,000 to $7,000.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Rupino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to increase veterinarian services from 4,000 to 7,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sir?
No,
Ma'am? Yes. That's okay, right? Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, all right, so moving on to code enforcement abatement expense, right? I'm not missing something, right?
We don't see
That's
that.
the next line? Okay,
good.
all right.
If you haven't clue.
That's the only thing I see.
Animal control, you allow.
Maybe Malcolm.
$35,000.
BG.
On
Yeah.
exhibit-
On the exhibit A,
on exhibit A,
okay,
I can correct the
Yeah.
exhibit A.
yeah, that's not,
Mhm.
that's our working.
I'm looking at 35,000. It's a salary.
His salaries, yes, that's correct.
Not the damn.
Yeah,
fuel.
and I think in
Yeah,
exhibit A-
fuel is at 4,000.
Yeah,
Oh,
What are we?
yes.
yeah, you're right, they're just backwards.
They are.
Okay. In exhibit A, they're backwards. In the working one, it is not. Okay,
Okay.
code enforcement abatement expense, I have it at, well, we don't even talk about that, there's no recommendations, but any questions so far on any of the numbers that you're seeing? All right, the next line item that I have is for street signs. My recommendation is to remove that, reduce that to $3,000. Based on we purchased much inventory this year. So we are caught up, and now it'd just be general maintenance on street signs that maybe get damaged or really just get damaged, hopefully not stolen. But that's my recommendation.
Go ahead.
I move to reduce the street maintenance expense, street sign expense. To 3,000.
Second,
All right, so I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado and a second from Alderman Fillinger to reduce street signs from 5,000 to 3,000. All of those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Thank you. All right, so the next line item that is in discussion, and the recommendation is actually going to be considerably different, is the one where it says to reduce to 75,000. That's actually a miscalculation. And that is, it's supposed to be a formula. So that was my fault in hard coding it like that. So really it should be a formula to add the total GASB 54 assigned and the total GASB 54 unassigned for totaling 7,996.05.
didn't remember again, sir.
7,996.05.
What is that?
And you're exhibiting.
Could we round that up to 8,000, sir?
It's a formula, sir.
Mhm.
Okay,
The reason being that 309605 is the funds from the opioid abatement.
okay,
So that's why we can't round it because
It's
that
actual.
was an actual amount, the check amount.
Mhm.
Unless you want to add a few cents to the
49.
court, the,
22.
So what's
Court
this
security.
130?
The 130 is a miscalculation. I hard coded a number there.
Oh, okay,
It should have been a formula.
then we just reduced to 7,995.
Right.
So it's unassigned, meaning that you didn't name it because we're gonna put it with the others.
We still don't know what to do with it. Because we don't have an opioid abatement program.
Hmm.
So that's why.
And we couldn't
Yeah.
put it through the police
Yeah.
department.
and with $3,095,
We ain't doing
we're not
much.
gonna generate
Right.
an opioid
Sure.
abatement
Of course.
program.
But to answer your
Uh,
question, that's a little bit later.
So
Yeah,
how would we make
okay.
a motion on this?
I think,
Then- Then I move that the total reserve funding be changed to $7,996.05.
So. Mhm.
Last second,
all right, so the motion by Alderman Fillinger and seconded by Alderman Rapino is to update the total reserve funding to 7,996.05, which is the total of the GASB 54 assigned of 4,900 plus GASB 54 unassigned 3,096.05. All of those in favor say aye.
aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Then I believe that is it unless y'all have more questions on budget line item.
I think you do need something here.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Cover,
Well, okay, you're right. Okay. So then jumping up or going down actually to the next line. We do need a motion to add in statutorily required public notices, required postings. So adding the line in general and then assigning a budget to it if we do need to do that, if we do want to put some money towards it. Again, statutorily required public notices are gonna be things like the budget where we have to post inside the San Antonio Express News. It has to be so big, so therefore has to cost a fair amount of money.
Is that two lines?
Yeah, that'll
Required
be-
public notice, required posting and statutory. The required public notice lobbying.
Correct, that'll be two lines, two separate motions.
Okay, well,
You need a motion.
So-
to have them.
Yeah. So right now the motion is to
Okay.
add.
okay,
I move that we add two line items to the budget. More statutorily required public notice, required posting, and another statutorily required public notice lobbying.
I'll second.
All right, so the motion is from Alderman Fillinger and a second by Alderman Rapino to add two lines. One for statutorily required public notice, required posting, and two statutorily required public notice lobbying. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, next item is if y'all want to go ahead and add a budget.
I moved that I don't think we need to put anything in there right now.
Well,
I agree with the lobbying, the required notices, I do think we need a budget.
Can we ask the extra,
Sure.
what would be a good number for statutorily required posting?
Well, looking at the newspaper publishing as of the end of August, which is all in general, we budgeted for 4,000 and we spent almost 1,000.
Well,
And all the bills are up.
what
Wasn't
about the
SB
money we
Express
put into the
was-
newspaper already?
700 or
Wasn't it more expensive than? Wasn't it more than that, $1,000?
Yeah,
or was it about that?
I think it was,
Newspaper was 15.
I would make it easy.
1,500.
Uh,
Oh, you going with the line?
yeah.
Yeah.
We put 1,500 into the newspaper,
Yeah.
so
I move that we budget, $1,500 for statutorily required public notice required posting.
You have a second?
Just a second. Does that change the bottom line here?
It will.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado to increase the budget or to create a budget for statutorily required public notices, required posting from $0 to $1,500. All of those in favor say aye.
Right.
All those opposed?
Yeah.
You're opposed? Okay. Thank you. What about for lobbying?
$0 too,
Yeah,
And then we can leave it as is. We don't need a motion for that, right?
correct.
Okay. Any other line items that you care to discuss besides what we've brought up?
Okay, but now looking at total expenses, we need to change it.
You need to change it.
I think we can-
Right, so if we look at it, if you look at Exhibit A, if we're gonna increase, really, it would just increase our deficit from 28,000,
664.
yeah. 28,000.
But exhibit A, there is a mistake under animal control. because-
Yeah, but they're just flipped, so
Is that on?
either way, it's the same,
amount.
it's the same difference, right?
Well, because I gotta get rid of that FICA. 'Cause there's a $4,000 amount in your FICA. I thought we were getting rid of FICA.
They're not in, I thought it was in the one that I put. For what was it for, animal control?
Yeah.
Find animal control. Yeah, I don't have
I don't
FICA,
have it yours, but when
when you printed it out.
I didn't remove it from my spreadsheet.
So
So,
wasn't that the number we still came up with? 28,664?
That's weird.
yeah, it is. You know what? That needs to say TMRS, not FICA.
Okay.
So that 4,000 is still okay, but
Okay.
these, yeah, so that's okay. I just need to change it to say TMRS.
Okay, so the deficit would be with the $1,500 increase to the required posting, it would be 30,164.56.
164.
Yes. Let me just make sure, 28,664. 28,664.56 plus 1,500. That's not enough.
27,164.50.
Mhm.
28, yeah, what did I do?
It should be less.
What the heck? Hold on. 28,664.56 plus another 1,500.
It should be.
Yeah.
30,164.56. So that would be the new motion to up the net income, to reduce net income by $1,500, totaling 30,164.56.
Okay, I move we approve a net income of negative 30,164.56.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado to reduce net income to 30,000 minus 30,164.56. All of those in favor say aye.
Right.
All those opposed? Thank you. Any other line items to discuss?
Now we need a motion to adopt the exhibit A as our adopted budget.
Adopt the ordinance.
The or, yeah.
Yeah.
I can give you the language if you're gonna.
Do we adopt the budget and then the ordinance, or do we just adopt the ordinance?
You adopt the budget by ordinance. What's the ordinance?
Let me see if I can speak English.
Trying to
Okay,
say an ordinance, not say an-
Mhm.
I move to adopt an ordinance adopting the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget presented to the city council by the mayor with amendments for the support of the general government of the city of Sandy Oaks to be fixed and determined for said terms in accordance with the expenditure shown on the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to adopt, is it this one, right?
2023, 224.
Is that right?
No, the other one. The go back one page.
Yes.
Gotcha.
B.
I gotcha. Okay, yeah, okay, so a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to approve,
Adopt.
to adopt ordinance number 2023-2024, adopting the 2023-2024 fiscal year budgets for the city of Sandy Oaks. I think we need to call, right? Each
Yes.
one of them. All
I
right.
know second by.
Yes, and a second by Alderman Rapino. Mayor Pro Tem, may I get your vote?
Yes.
Alderman Fillinger,
Aye.
Alderman Rapino,
Aye.
Aye.
Alderman Martinez, Alderwoman Martinez. Alderman Coffin is not present. We do have a majority vote that is adopted. Thank you. All right. We're moving on. Discuss under possible action on ordinance 223-225, ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget. That is,
I have language if, whoever is making a motion.
I'll do it. If you have the language.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
It's for the bracketed.
okay. I need that. So I move that having adopted the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget that will require raising more revenue from property taxes than in the previous year, I move to adopt an ordinance ratifying the property tax increase reflected in fiscal year 2023-2024 budget, which is the amount of $65,392.41, or 13%, and of that amount, $25,618 and $6 is tax revenue to be raised from new property tax added to the tax roll this year as reflected in the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget adopted on September 28th, 2023.
can I get a second?
I'll second.
I'd like to discuss,
Okay,
I'm looking at ordinance 2023-225, section 2. We need to amend it
Mhm.
to read September 28th, 2023. But it currently says September 14th, 2023. I
Yeah.
move to amend by striking 14 and inserting 28.
Right here.
The actual
I
ordinance.
see. No, it's
The actual ordinance, that says
Over
five
here.
feet.
Right here.
Section
Yeah.
two.
Five
Okay,
feet.
yeah, I see
Yeah.
it. But it's September 20.
Okay, so we got a motion. That was a motion, correct?
That was a motion to amend by striking 14 and
13.
inserting 28.
So, well, his motion needs to be taken up first, but he can add that to his motion.
Okay,
Mhm.
Say that again.
so your motion can be taken up first, but you need to add to your
You can add it
motion.
to your
Okay.
motion to make that
Uh,
basis.
Add it to my motion that we amend ordinance 23-225 and change section 2, the last line from September 14th, 2023, and change it to September 28th, 2023. Does that suffice?
Yes. and if-
Okay.
And if I can get your
That'd be
second again, Deb?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to adopt an ordinance of the city of Sandy Oaks ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget, as well as to strike September 14th, 2023 from section 2 and change that to September 28th, 2023. All those in favor say aye, or do I have to call it out?
You don't need to record.
Okay. All those-
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Thank you. All right. Are we doing the public hearing now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on to item 6, public hearing to consider the proposed 2023 tax rate to support the budget for fiscal year 2023-2024. The time is provided for citizens to address the mayor and council on the proposed 2023 tax rate to support the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget, which proposed rate is not to exceed 0.243303 on each $100 evaluation of the property. Please limit your time to a period not to exceed 3 minutes. Time is now 7:42. The public hearing has commenced. Do we have anybody on record?
Nothing.
Okay,
Public hearing. Anyone can speak. I say, good job keeping the expenses down. You could have raised taxes, bought all kinds of equipment, done all kinds of stuff. But good work on keeping it down. A lot of people would be happy.
appreciate it. Appreciate it very much.
I'd just like to say thank you for the ARPA fund.
Mhm.
That has done a lot for us.
That helped a lot.
Very much. Very much.
Mhm.
Anybody else? We want to wait till it turns to 7:40 again.
We
Let me
see it
pull it
within
through.
a minute, or it's within-
All right, there you go. All right. All right. The time is now 7:43. This will end the public hearing. All right, moving on to item 6A. Discuss under possible action by record vote on ordinance 2023-226, adopting the levying ad valorem taxes for the use and the support of the municipal government for the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024, not to exceed 0.243303 in each $100 evaluation of property, providing for apportioning each levy for specific purposes, providing when taxes shall become due and when shall be delinquent if not paid, providing for a severability clause, and for providing for an effective date.
There are 3 motions on the tax rate. One is for the maintenance operation, one is for the interest in seeking fund, and then one is the motion on the total tax rate. And I have that language.
And that language.
This was the first, and then the second and third, the second, third. Okay. The motion would be, I move the city council approve an ordinance adopting a tax rate of 0.214278 on each $100 valuation of property to be used for the maintenance and support of the general government of the city of Sandy Oaks for the 2023-2024 fiscal year upon all property, real, personal, and mixed, within the corporate limits of said city, subject to taxation and such tax rate be adopted by ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, so the motion is brought by Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado and Alderman Rapino to approve the, how can I say it, for the maintenance and support of general government, general fund of 0.214278 on each $100 evaluation of property. Mayor Pro Tem, may I get your vote?
Yes.
Alderman Fillinger,
Yes,
Alderman Coffindaffer, absent. Alderman Rapino,
Yes,
Alderwoman Martinez,
Yes.
that passes 4-1,
41.
right?
Oh, no, you don't,
I didn't count myself.
you just count it as absent, not as
Well, Alvarado, Fillinger, Rapino, Martinez, 4-1.
4-0.
4-0, I got you, Okay, that passes 4-0. Thank you.
On the motion on the INS fund, I move the city council approve an ordinance adopting a tax of 0.029025 on each $100 valuation of property to be used for the interest and sinking fund, and that such tax rate be adopted by ordinance.
I would second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado and a second from Alderman Fillinger for the interest and sinking fund to be 0.029025 on each $100 valuation of property. Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado, may I have your vote?
Yes.
Alderman Fillinger,
Yes,
Alderman Rapino,
yes,
Alderwoman Martinez,
Yes.
Alderman Coffindaffer is absent. That passes 4-0. Thank you.
Okay. On the motion on tax rate, I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.243303 on each $100 valuation of property, which is effectively a 4.51% increase in the tax rate, and such rate be adopted by ordinance number 2023-226.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado and Alderwoman Martinez accepting the tax rate of 0.243303 on each $100 evaluation of property. Mayor Pro Tem, may I get your vote?
Yes.
Alderman Fillinger,
yes,
Alderman Rapino,
yes,
Alderwoman Martinez,
Yes.
Alderman Coffindaffer is absent. That passes 4-0. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item 7, consent agenda. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, all matters listed on the consent agenda. Actually, we will pull this as the minutes are not ready for the consent agenda. And we've discussed 8A. So moving on
Okay.
to item 8B. Okay, discuss under possible action on the amendment or abolishment of ordinance number 2019-143, regulating garage sales within the city and related matters. All right, so the reason why this got brought up is because we had a lot of people have a community yard sale, and nobody's opposed to that. In fact, I like the idea of people finding out about our town spending money. However, a part of it is how much do we regulate it by just offering a free permit, right?
zero there.
Exactly.
There's no limit on how many they can have. The permit is worth it.
Right.
Uh,
So the thought is, we could do two things.
and so far, nobody has ever received a citation for not having a permit.
It's hard to patrol, right?
Well,
I
it's
mean,
usually warnings. They do stop and then they inform them that if you don't have a permit, you need to get it next time.
But-
You're right.
But do we keep track of how many times
No.
they violate?
Oh, I don't,
Yeah, probably.
usually they don't, like you
Yeah,
said.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, that's the point of that
Yeah,
discussion,
and
right?
plus they leave it out. Oh,
The other side is if, right now you can go in for a month and it doesn't matter.
The thing about leaving signs out is that's littering and that's a different,
Yeah.
whole different thing.
Well,
We can write that.
as far as the items also, they're items, they bring
In
them
their
out,
front yard.
sometimes just leave.
What is the damage when someone has a yard sale?
And
And
it's,
what are we trying to prevent?
well, we're trying to prevent two
I'm just-
things.
Wanting to know.
A business being ran from their front yard. Right? And then also just understanding that they have to leave, they have to pick up their signs within 48 hours after the garage sale is over.
So-
And what items are permitted, right? Like they can't sell food and things like that.
Right,
So that's the purpose of the permit.
Are we managing that when we do issue a permit, or we,
When we do issue a permit, we inform them of the ordinance.
right, but
which-
do we manage?
Are we patrolling for it?
Yes,
Maybe not necessarily as aggressive as we would think.
so what do we plan on doing then?
Well, so the thought is if we charge for a permit, right, now we can sink some funding into the police for them to make sure that if we're going to charge for a permit, now we have a financial responsibility to go enforce it.
Okay,
Not only for the people that pay, but for the people that don't.
but if we do that, then I want it enforced rather than just cleaning the cabinet.
So
You
is
see
the
what-
list generated right now as far as what's coming up for this weekend
We
or?
can, yeah, yes, a list can be
Yeah.
generated, correct. Chief?
I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel here. My recommendation to the mayor was to mirror off city of San Antonio, because they already have a program in place. We, obviously, there's flexibility there. I think it's what, 3 times in a quarter or so. We're trying to minimize the continuance of individuals taking advantage of the system. So that's, I mean, nothing in life is for free. They're making a little money, they're not getting rich. However, city of San Antonio, I believe they charge 15 per permit. After the third or so, the fourth one is free to something like that.
I'm not opposed to it, I just, if it's a hazard, I want it,
Enforced.
If I may.
enforced.
The original intent of the ordinance was to get people to come in so we could tell them, pick up your signs when you're finished and don't put them on stop sign poles or utility poles. So that was Mayor Ball's original intent, not charge, but just get them to come in so we can educate them. Because if everyone remembers,
Yeah.
the stop signs used to have signs from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Because
And we've gotten a handle on
there's
that.
people that they didn't know.
They didn't know, so now we've gotten a handle on it, and like you said, now if they leave it out, that's littering. If they leave their sign on the telephone pole, I mean, that's illegal anyway.
So what I'm getting at is if there's no accountability, whether
Well,
we
no
charge or
one's-
not, and it's,
No one's making a mess or anything, I mean, I
Okay,
think it's all under control. It
I
appears.
haven't seen messes, so, I'm not opposed to making $15.
They're not getting rich off their garage
Yeah.
sales. I don't
Okay.
see anyone running a business out of their home by.
But when you have certain individuals within the city of Sandy Oaks that keep it open for a whole month and can continue to do it, and they're out there.
Well, there should be a time limit
Yes.
to, I just wanted to know if there was any abusers and if we were.
Yeah, there's,
We haven't fined anybody.
There's
for it.
always a. view.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
But there's no
I
fines
just wanted to
yet,
know if we
right?
were
There hasn't been any fines.
no, nothing.
handling
nothing
it.
If they're leaving their stuff out.
So when you've seen them for a month, we don't find them?
No,
They're
because
there.
they get the permit.
Yes, they're on there. We look at the permits and we go back on history. There's there along with next door, that continuous advertising and that are continuous always there.
But that's what I'm saying, they haven't been fined though.
No, I mean,
Because they have the month-long permit.
So they have the
Mayor Pro
month long
Tem,
yes.
permit.
right.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
we issue them for a
Because we
month.
don't limit the amount that they can do. in a
Right.
month.
That's the problem. We should be issuing them for a month.
Correct.
Well, I mean, if it's that or they come in every weekend
Yeah.
and have to.
Well, no, I mean,
So they're
or,
not doing it for the whole month. I mean, there is Well, because
I don't
obviously they
wanna-
come in and they went up for the whole month, obviously they're not just, clean up your spring cleaning. Yeah, they're just,
Yeah,
I mean, it's one on Waterwood Pass that almost every weekend she puts,
yeah.
string of clothes out and a table of goods,
So what's the recommendation that we do?
Abolish it.
Well, we could do
Abolish
two
it.
things, right? We could abolish the garage sale permit, or we can enforce some stricter rules, right? Saying maybe it's not a month-long permit, it's a once a quarter, or once a month rather. We add a fee, implement a fee. I mean, it can be a number of things. I just wanted to bring the conversation up because I know it was something that happened in the community, and not necessarily it's bad. I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't think it's
I
bad
think
at
it's
all.
good.
Yeah,
Because again, it attracts people here that otherwise wouldn't come, and then they stop at Dollar General, they stop at the Valero, that drives sales tax
So
revenue.
it's a community.
Yeah, and it was a
garage sale,
community
which is
sale.
good.
Yeah,
Because everybody gets to go to the park and,
Right.
try to get to know each other, whatever.
right.
So
Well,
that's not
But they're
wrong.
not doing it at the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah,
I,
this is a house. Yeah, houses rather. Yeah.
I believe there's a movement to have a monthly community garage sale distributed around.
Through the city,
To the city. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
good because they don't have to
And-
bring.
And that would be I think they're planning on the fourth week, and our community garage sale in the park is gonna be the second Saturday of the month.
Okay, so we can say
So
something.
they're,
Uh-huh.
and I'm only, Ms.
They've already
Ball
advertised.
organized September's, and when they said, can we do it again, she said, somebody else. And a couple of the ladies have stepped up and they want to have it on the fourth weekend of each month. So I suspect we're gonna see more organization and people are going to
Abide by that.
work
Mhm.
towards having it on the fourth, the community wide on the fourth weekend of the month.
Okay, could we say no more garage sales? You need to participate in the citywide.
I don't think,
Nah,
I don't think, I think that's
I think
totalitarian.
I think a good recommendation would be to just limit the number that you could have in a month, right? So if they're gonna try to plan a community-wide yard sale, cool, then just line up with your community on a specific day and get your permit, or if you don't wanna do that, do it on your day, but that's your day, right? You wanna do it on the first weekend, that's fine. If you wanna do it on the fourth weekend, that's fine, but maybe just regulate it a little bit more, even if we don't charge anything for it. Again, like, I don't want people to feel like we're just trying to nickel and dime them.
Yeah, or constrain. them.
Right, exactly. I get it, right? You're not making a ton of money, so
And two,
um,
maybe, they need gas money.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we have to charge. What I think we need to do is just control it just a little bit more in the sense of knowing when people have it. It makes it easier to patrol if we do. Because now we have a list that can be generated for that weekend. So that way, when the
Keep track
police
of
are
it.
on patrol, they can
Keep
stop by.
track of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
ma'am.
What I could do is hold on to this, send out the current ordinance and everyone come back with
That's fine, too.
recommendations on amending it, instead
Yeah.
of abolishing it, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we can pull it.
That way y'all.
That way we
see
can
what
discuss it a little bit more.
does say, and then
Yeah,
Make those.
yeah, let's
do that.
postpone this until our next regular
yeah, good idea.
council meeting.
Okay. All right, agenda item 8B is now postponed. All right, agenda item 8C, discussing or possible action on resolution 2023-184, declaring certain property, including the city motor vehicle as surplus and authorizing the mayor or designee to execute sale or disposal of said property and related matters. So as we discussed, we are purchasing a new vehicle for the Public Works Department to be able to move the trailer and the tractor around. That being said, the Expedition is up for trade-in with the dealership. I think we're getting a fair amount for it, but in order to do that, we do have to declare it as surplus property by ordinance or resolution.
Any discussion? If not, I'll make a motion.
Make a motion, we need to.
Okay, I move that, we,
Not done.
adopt resolution number 2023-184. A resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, declaring certain property as surplus and authorizing the mayor or designee to execute the sale or disposal of said property.
I second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado. A resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, declaring certain property 2007 Ford Expedition as surplus and authorizing the mayor or designee to execute the sale or disposal of said property. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you.
Didn't get a resolution.
2023-184.
Yeah, for eight. I think the discussion's gonna be.
Oh,
This one's on where?
The abatement.
okay.
Yeah.
You want to wait, right? Because you want to look for more.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna pull item 8D for now.
Can we open the discussion just in a minute?
Yep.
I had actually talked to, the commissioner's office. And, they recommended that we do an interlocal agreement with the county, health people,
Mhm.
because that's who's administering the opioid program for Bear County. I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah, there's a couple of options based off of the information that I read too. However, what Cassandra wants to work on is the proper channels to donate that. I believe you have to sign it back over to the county.
Well, it was the procedures through the state, whether. Because the money's coming slowly or annually.
Yeah.
Whether that would come to the city, transfer to the county, directly to the county. But if I can work with the county's office or the county health on a local agreement, that could probably be incorporated.
Yeah, like I say, that's what the commissioner's office.
You talked to her recently?
recommended. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, we're pulling it.
we're gonna pull it for now or
Would postpone it,
postpone it. All right,
to an undesignated date.
okay.
To be determined.
Yeah. All right. All right, updates and announcements from Chief Lopez with possible discussion and action. Chief, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just an announcement. So on Monday, a call for possible active shooter at East Central High School. Approximately about 9:30, caller made that along with, there was some shooting in the background. Bear County responded, local, agencies responded, Amador, San Diego Police Department as well. As we know what happened in Uvalde. So, Officer Maldonado was on duty. He responded, to that call. I believe he was there. I think he was probably about the fourth or fifth officer there. At the end of the day, children's lives are at risk along with adults as well. We take that very seriously. We responded and we take it as a threat until otherwise. So I like to thank Officer Maldonado for going out there and helping and assisting with Bear County along with the other agencies as well. He did a great job. He got good thanks for his tactics and responding. Good, great.
Thank you.
Was it really an active shooter or was it a?
No, it was just a hoax.
Okay, good.
Then the next day they had a bomb threat.
Yes.
Mhm.
Idiots.
My granddaughter goes there.
So you got,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
thank you, Officer Maldonado. Thank you, Chief. All right, next item, discuss and possible action on quotes received for the purchase of a new police vehicle and related matters. So this was brought up in our last discussion. And thankfully Chief was able to speak with his representative who is able to pull multiple vehicle quotes. So we do have comparable vehicles here. A 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe two-wheel drive and a 2024 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive. Dodge Durango tops out at $49,280. The Chevrolet Tahoe tops out at maybe,
51, 27.
I mean, either I'm missing that or I don't see it. Okay,
Looks like that.
51,000. Okay, and then there's the, as discussed, the Ford Explorer Police Interceptor, which tops out at 46,070. So these are the comparables that were required and requested. I see the Charger now, or the Tahoe. Now, keep in mind, when discussing this, this is a bare bones vehicle. This does not have any lighting. This does not have any radios. So when discussing this, and because it's in the agenda to discuss and related other matters, there is the installation of all the sirens, the lights, the radios, the printers, the graphics, and so on and so forth. So the way I see it is no matter what vehicle we get, you will see an installation from Southwest Public Safety of about 17,000 and from Daily Wells Communication of about $6,400.
So we're looking upwards of 70 grand.
Exactly. And, just to keep in mind, right, like we can look for used vehicles and maybe they have some of the features installed, but there's a chance that they won't. They also have no warranty. They also been, hot pursuited. They also have a lot of engine idle hours. They will need to be retrofitted.
Inherit any problem.
Right. Exactly.
So the one we're turning in,
The one we're trading in, it's separate. It's for the 250.
oh yeah,
This would be to replace the Tahoe.
I see.
So yeah, six.
So there's nothing.
No, we would probably deem the Tahoe
As,
surplus,
yeah.
if that be the case.
Okay.
And we're not looking for a trade-in,
What do
No,
you,
so we can surplus that to a public office.
which one do you recommend, Chief?
The Ford Explorer.
It is the
46.
cheapest of the three.
The reason that is because in time, we're looking to base all our vehicles the same. So when it comes down to in time with that vehicle to get that stuff, the stuff that's installed inside the vehicle to retrofit the next
The next
vehicle,
version.
it just makes it easier and cost effective at the same time.
And I do have some experience with the newer vehicle with the Taurus. So recently that was taken in for service because the check engine light, and we were quoted, I don't know, $2,000 to fix it. And in my research, I found that it was under a recall. So, there's $2,000 back in our pocket
Good.
with newer vehicles, right? So I mean, I get it, the savings up front with an older vehicle, a used vehicle, but if we could save,
What's
with the maintenance and-
What's the life of a new vehicle in police service? Generally, and understanding we're in a small city.
Yeah, smaller cities, they tend to last a little bit longer versus bigger cities. So, it just, you only have one officer at this point in time using each vehicle. Everybody has their own assigned vehicles, so it minimizes the wear and tear over that. So, consider amount, usually vehicles are turned over about 150,000 miles, 160,000. So, but here it'll probably go a little bit longer.
what is the Tahoe currently sitting at? Mileage wise?
155,000.
155,000. I mean, it's got a lot of miles, and it's recently received a bunch of maintenance, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We have to keep it going.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, you have to maintain your
Yeah.
vehicles.
But I mean, it had,
But the indication is.
It's going.
We will have to continue repairs and maintenance.
Yeah, suspension is probably next up.
Yeah,
We've been very fortunate for the other two vehicles that we received, the Explorer and the Taurus. You know, there's very few times that you're gonna find a vehicle in use condition with that much amount of equipment in that, so we've been very fortunate.
Now it's up to you.
You know, this would be the first vehicle this is the first brand new vehicle that we started from base to install and everything since we've been here.
Yeah. What's the bottom line on that Ford?
And the Explorer is $46,070.
Okay. Well, I make a motion that we purchase the Ford Explorer for 40, not to exceed 46,500.
Okay.
What about the expenditures?
We don't
Well,
know.
we don't know what
We don't
they
know.
are yet.
we need to address that as.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so I have a,
It says related matters.
What, we will cover it under related matters, not a single motion to.
Yeah.
gotcha.
All of it.
That's why I was adding it up. So wait, if you want.
When we get it, when we find out, we might as well, then we'll
It's
deal with it.
related to.
We can do it now too.
Well,
We have quotes.
It's not on the agenda.
We have quotes.
Okay, well, let's do it separately.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino. Do I have a second?
Yes, a second.
You have a second? Okay. And let's see. All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez to purchase the 2023 Ford Police Interceptor utility with a not to exceed of $46,500 from ARPA funds.
Yes.
All of those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you.
I'd like to address a related matter.
Sure.
Yeah.
I really think we need to set up depreciation tables for all of our capital expenditures. Because this is not gonna be the last capital expenditure, and we need to be able to project and program what we're gonna do over the next 5 years. But that's just discussion, no motion included.
Do we want to discuss the associated
Much-
invoices, or do we want to wait until the vehicle arrives? I mean, the reality is we can't purchase any of this until the vehicle's here, so.
And we don't know what the cost might be at it.
Well, how long is it gonna take to get the vehicle here, and how long are these quotes valid?
The quotes, these are the one
30
for
days.
Southwest Public Safety is, I believe it's 30 and then 30 days and Daily Wells is, I believe, 30 days.
No, Daily Wells is 60.
Expiration is 10/28.
Yeah, Daily Wells is 60
Mhm.
and expiration date is 10/28, so they're 30, Southwest is 30. So, I mean, we won't get it in the next 2 months, I can guarantee
So
that.
why don't we wait?
Okay, so we're
Okay.
waiting on
But
the
we'll wait to get a better,
postpone.
all right, no, we've already have it passed, we'll postpone discussing the
Yeah, that's
extras, gotcha, okay, gotcha. All
the
right,
related matter.
yes,
Move on.
okay, thank you. All right, updated announcement from Park Advisory Committee Chair Alderman Rapino with possible discussion and interaction.
Okay, the community center did get a storage building and they are, working with getting it, filled up. They're getting shelves and, someone donated a ramp. So, because of National Night Out, we are not having a meeting, since most of the committee will be at National Night Out, so. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
So you won't be having one next week?
No,
Not
we
at all.
won't, because it's the same night as National Night Out, and since all the
So I meant the
committee will
following
be,
week.
yeah, will be in November.
Okay, thank you. All right, updates and announcements from Public Works Director Priscilla Smith with possible discussion and or action. Ma'am, you have the floor. No updates. Thank you. All right, last one, discuss under possible action on quote received for the purchase of a Ford F-250 and related matters. As you may remember, we approved this last month or 2 weeks ago, rather. Unfortunately, that vehicle sold. We've now located another one at another dealer. In order to prevent this from happening again, I'd like to bring it up to the table just so that way we can get an approval to negotiate and deal with basically any of the dealerships that have a 2023 F-250 or a comparable vehicle.
I move that we authorize the mayor and public works director to purchase a Ford F-250 not to exceed $50,000 financed from the ARPA fund.
I'll second that.
And public works.
All right. Yeah. So I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to approve the negotiation and purchase of a Ford F-250 with a not to exceed of $50,000 from ARPA funds. All of those in favor say aye.
I
All those opposed? That passes.
move to adjourn.
Adjourn at 8:16.
Thanks, 16.
Thank you.
Where did we get our shirts?
Oh, yeah, negative.